All right. Nice to see you, Victorita. How are you doing today?
I'm doing okay. I definitely could be better, but I'm doing okay.
Okay. Well, I know from your email a little bit about why it is you're seeking counseling treatment, but I would like to hear it more from your own words, if you don't mind.
Sure. Well, I guess it all started with at a car accident about 5 months ago. And I had some pretty extensive injuries. I was in the hospital for a long time, and just ever since then, I like my injuries caused me like a loss in mobility. I can't, you know, take care of the kids and pick the house up as easily as I used to. I have to take breaks a lot, and I really can't pick up anything heavy. So, um, you
Sounds like
know,
these were some real traumatic injuries for
yeah, definitely. And I feel really isolated from everybody else because I feel like I have to rely on a lot of people because I can't, like do the things I used to. And this injury also stopped me from working. I've worked in construction most of my life.
you. Okay.
So, I mean, that's a lot of hard labor and long hours. And ever since the accident, I just can't do the things that I used to.
Right.
So I really haven't found a new job or something that I can get excited about since then. Um, and I've definitely noticed that my drinking has gotten a lot heavier since the accident.
Right.
Um, and I'm just feeling really isolated away from my family. So that's kind of why I want to get some help and figure some things out.
Okay. Well, I really appreciate you sharing all that information with me and know that it must not be easy, trying to go back to your regular obligations and responsibilities at home after having such a life changing incident happen to you. So, we're going to address your drinking habits first. I have here the results from your audit screening. And I would just like to kind of go over your responses on here and just try and get some additional insight.
Sure.
So we have here for question one, how often do you have a drink containing alcohol? And you put four or more times a week.
Yeah, I would say on really bad weeks, I definitely have more than one drink a day.
Right.
So definitely more than 4 times a week. Um, and I don't. My goal is to definitely make that smaller,
Right.
but I'm just not sure.
Right. Okay. Well, it's awesome that you already feel motivated to reduce that, right? Because clearly that shows that you're aware that this is kind of getting to a point where it's starting to get unhealthy for you and your family also. That's great. Number two, how many drinks containing alcohol do you have on a typical day when you are drinking? And you put five or six. All right, it goes along with what you were just saying. How often do you have six or more drinks on one occasion? And you put daily or almost daily.
I mean, definitely my tolerance has gone up. I feel like, and when things get more frustrating, I see myself, pouring another drink. But yeah.
Okay, all right. We have here, how often during the last year have you found that you were not able to stop drinking once you had started? And you put down one for less than monthly. Okay. And would you say that your ability to not stop drinking, like once you start, would you say that began after your accident? Like, how long would you say after?
I mean, there was a recovery phase after the accident, so I definitely tried not to drink a lot of alcohol. While I was in the hospital, I can't get out of the hospital, but when I came home and the emotions of everything really hit me, I feel like that's when I started drinking. It was hard to stop.
Right. And we have here, how often during the last year have you needed a first drink in the morning to get yourself going after a heavy drinking session? We have here monthly. How often during the last year have you had a feeling of guilt or remorse after drinking? And we have a score of 4 here for daily or almost daily. So, could you touch on that a little bit more about your feelings of guilt or remorse?
I mean, sure, I definitely feel guilt about not being the proper mom that I was. I feel like, and I feel guilt, like I said earlier, that I have to like rely on a lot of people, so that makes me feel really guilty. And
Would you say, and I'm going out on a limb here, would you say that you feel like you reaching out to help from your families, does that make you feel like a burden?
definitely, yeah.
And is the guilt, would you say the guilt is more about, do you feel guilty about your injuries and the fact you can't help around the house as much as you used to? Or is it about, would you say it's about your drinking habits?
I would say they definitely coincide with each other, and I have guilt for both of those issues. Um, but they definitely connect with each other, and it's hard to not drink when I feel guilty, and then I feel guilty that I'm drinking. So then it's just a spiral there.
That repetitious cycle, right? Let's go on to the next one. How often during the last year have you been unable to remember what happened the night before because of your drinking? And you put down weekly during the last year. So that's pretty substantial, right? I mean, that's a lot of incidents where you're blacked out, basically.
Yeah, I definitely feel like I drink a lot of alcohol, to feel something, and then when it gets to that point, it's hard to remember the
Right.
next day.
And has this impacted your relationship with your family? Well,
Definitely. I mean, I feel like my kids are affected, and they're still small, so it's hard. I don't have as much energy to take care of them or keep up after them or play around with them. And I feel like my parents and my husband have definitely noticed my drinking has gotten a lot worse, and it's kind of embarrassing. Um,
what makes you feel like they've noticed a difference in
they've definitely made a few comments. If I'm making another drink and like, yeah, sometimes I just even wait until they're out of the mood to make it so I don't have to hear what they have to say.
uh,
But yeah, it definitely makes me feel bad sometimes. But they also don't know, what I went through, the car accident and stuff like that. So that part of me just makes me feel like they don't really understand.
right? And is there a part of you that sort of wishes that they could have a little bit more empathy towards your situation?
Sure. Yeah. Sometimes.
I mean, of course, that makes sense. You would want that support from the people you trust most.
Yeah.
Have you or someone else been injured because of your drinking? And you put down four. Yes, during the last year. Um, do you feel comfortable in just sharing some details about one of these incidents?
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely fell. We have stairs in our house, so our kitchen is downstairs, so I've definitely fell trying to get up the stairs at night and sometimes coming down the stairs at night after I've been drinking. But
Yeah,
I mean, I just don't want to hurt other people, so that's what really makes me want to come and seek some change and stuff because I mean, I've almost re-injured myself pretty badly because of drinking. So I don't really have any more chances if I hurt myself.
great. All the more reason to be proud of yourself for the fact that you had the courage to seek these services. It's not easy dealing with injuries, and let alone guilt, shame, things like that. And we have our last one here. Has a relative, friend, doctor, or other healthcare worker been concerned about your drinking or has suggested that you cut down? And you put down yes during the last year.
Yeah, like I said, my husband and my parents made some comments. Yeah, it's definitely embarrassing, and I mean, I'm glad they brought it to my attention because I think I wouldn't have really sought any help if they didn't. But
How was that? How was that felt for you to see your family kind of bring this to your attention?
it feels kind of bad, yeah. But I mean, I'm trying to work on it, so that makes me feel like at least I'm doing something about it.
Right. All right. Well, those are your results for your screening. So the great thing about this screening tool is that it helps us to kind of paint a better picture as to your habits regarding alcohol. I know that you had described some symptoms of depression earlier and in your email leading up to this session. And so we like to just collect as much information about your situation as possible so that way we can really make sure that we're giving you appropriate treatment and a plan that fits your overall goals and expectations for yourself. So let's talk about that. Then. What do you envision uh, getting out of treatment?
I definitely envision some support, um, a safe place for me to discuss how I'm feeling, possibly. I mean, I understand this isn't a rehab facility, so I'm not looking for something like that, but just definitely somewhere where I can talk to somebody and maybe get to the deeper part rooted issues of why I'm feeling so useless sometimes.
Right. Okay. And so, what would a safe place like that look like? What would that feel like?
Just like a judgment free zone, because I am a mother and things like that, and I just would appreciate just a judgment free zone somewhere where I can express my feelings freely.
And would you say that your current home environment, would you say that's a judgment-free zone?
Mostly, um, they do. I mean, they are judging me now because of my alcohol use, and with that is, I understand that because it's not healthy for me. Um, but they are not that judgy. Besides that, I think I put a lot of pressure on myself more than other people.
Okay. Do other members of your family drink alcohol?
Um, We don't. Yeah, actually, yeah. It kind of runs in our
Would you say is kind of part of your family's culture, like growing up? Is that like kind of normal for
family. I
you
mean,
to see adults?
definitely drinking alcohol.
Yeah.
Sure, sure. Parties, family gatherings, definitely.
And I know that in your email you put down that your ethnic race is Mexican American. Do you feel like your your Mexican heritage kind of influences the way your family perceives the consumption of alcohol?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of people in my family do drink, but they don't really have any issues with it. I mean, and maybe that's why they think my issue is so severe because they can drink and not let it affect the other parts of their lives.
Right.
But I would say, yeah, I mean, it's pretty. I grew up around alcohol a lot. Yeah,
All right. So it's just interesting that there's like this discrepancy, right? Because you're not the only member of your family who drinks, and yet it almost seems like, and correct me if I'm wrong, it almost seems as if you're kind of being outcasted for not being able to drink in the same way that they do.
exactly. Yeah.
Right. So thank you for all that great information. I think what we should do now is start talking about what your. So I know your overall goal is to stop drinking and to essentially, change your life for the better. But since that's kind of an overarching general goal, I think it would be a great idea to sort of focus in on certain specific things that you can accomplish while getting services here. So that way we can make like we can have a strategy so that way you can accomplish your overall goal. So is there any specific goals that you have in mind?
Like short-term goals.
Yeah, like let's start here. On a scale of 1 to 10, how ready are you to change?
I would say definitely a seven. I mean, I'm a little scared, but I think
All right, 7. I mean, that's pretty high. Why wouldn't you say 6 or 5?
I don't know. I just feel like I'm mostly ready, but I'm a little hesitant because my injuries are still gonna be there. They're never gonna go away. So I just have to learn how to live my life with them. So that's why I'm mostly ready, but I'm a little scared.
Oh, I mean, that shows a lot of your character just in that statement. I mean, your willingness to sort of take a leap of faith, right? Even though you might have some hesitancy or maybe even some anxiousness about this. All right. Well, I think that's really awesome and commendable on your part. All right. So then now that we sort of know where you're at as far as your readiness to make change happen, what do you think is something that you can accomplish within the first month, first 30 days of treatment?
I mean, I think starting to cut down on my drinking is a good start. I'm a little scared of just cutting it completely out.
Right. And it can actually be pretty, I'm not sure if you know this, it can actually be pretty dangerous to just stop suddenly.
Yeah,
So it may be beneficial for us to connect you with some medical services if you don't already have a provider,
yeah.
just to kind of make sure that you're being monitored through your reduction.
I mean, that would be awesome because I'm not really sure how to strategically stop.
Right.
But definitely, yeah, cutting down on the amount of drinks per day and per week would definitely be a goal.
Okay. Um, do you think that there is a specific amount that you could reduce within your first 30 days? What do you think is something achievable for you at this point?
Um, Maybe like 3 drinks a day or something like that.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's great. We can start there. All right. So that's one. And in regards to, we're definitely gonna help you with your depression and any sort of symptoms or factors that could be influencing that. But what would you say if you could envision it? What would you say is something that you can do within your first month to uh, sort of work on that yourself?
Um, I can try not to let things get to me. And try to regulate my emotions maybe more.
And when you say let things get to you, I mean, what does that look like for you? Like if you were to be in the same room and something's getting to you, how would I know that?
I'm getting frustrated. Maybe losing my temper a little.
All right. So being frustrated, losing your temper.
Getting confused.
Okay. So like an inability to kind of focus, just overall stress.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And has there been anything that you've done to help with depressive moods in the past that have worked?
Not really. Not that much. I've just kind of dealt with them and not really developed any real methods that I've, you
And that's totally fine. You know, like is that's why we're here. It's to sort of come up with a strategy that can work best for you. What? Let me ask you this: what do you like to do to relax?
I like to spend time with my kids.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
it's
what does
hard.
that typically look like?
Maybe taking them to the aquarium or watching them play soccer or them having a play date with their friends.
Okay,
Something like
so
that.
how often do they have soccer practice?
Twice a week.
Twice a week. Okay. And so twice a week, that seems like a good frequency to use that moment because you sort of have time for yourself, but you're also, making yourself useful and watching the kids practice, right? So how about, or like, tell me how you feel about this. How do you feel about using your children's soccer practice as a time to sort of reflect and maybe even potentially try some sort of coping exercises to help with your depression?
I mean, yeah, if I could work, maybe I can sit in the car for the first 15 minutes or so that I can still watch them practice, but do some exercises by myself.
Okay. And do you feel like that would help? Does anything specific come to mind?
Hmm, really, not really.
Okay. Well, we can dive more into that. We can go over breathing techniques, which are very simple and very effective at uh, reducing your overall stress, your anxiety. We can go over some mindfulness techniques to kind of help you stay in the present moment and to not get carried away from any stressful thoughts or things like that. How does that sound to you?
That sounds awesome.
Does that sound like something that you could see yourself employing on a daily, weekly basis?
Definitely. Yeah.
Okay, all right, definitely. Awesome. So I will connect you with some resources for that. And then in our future sessions, we'll kind of dive deeper into it. All right. What about what about in regards to your family? What is something? How do they feel about you being a treatment, seeking counseling?
I think they're supportive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is nice.
Okay. Is there like the whole family's on board, husband, parents, kids, if you told them at all?
Yeah, but the kids are pretty young, so I'm not sure they understand
Okay.
quite yet. But my husband and my parents and siblings are all on board.
Awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
Because I mean, research shows that when families involvement is all, they're all supportive of the treatment efforts, years a much likely outcome for uh, achieving sobriety and achieving treatment goals. So that's great. All right. So now that we got some of those goals established, is there any way that I can make therapy services for you just really fit all of your needs? Any cultural needs, anything that I should know about, so that way I can better understand how to serve you?
Um, I mean, I can't really think of anything right now. I have a mom. So Mexican American, so I do have like a culturally focused family kind of, but yeah, you're doing a great job so far. So.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. And do you have any questions for me?
Um, how like often do you think we would meet?
Oh, that is a great question. Well, I know that you probably have a busy schedule with watching your children. Um, we can do either in-person sessions, with whatever during whatever time works best for you, or we can do over the phone or even Zoom, or if you have a laptop, you have a laptop.
Mhm.
Okay, so which of those options do you think?
Do you think we can do maybe like a little bit of both? Like
Sure,
sometimes
yeah.
I can have the kids go like on a play date or something and I'll have time and sometimes they'll be, at the house and stuff. So maybe then I can use my computer, but sometimes I would like to come here in person.
Yeah, definitely. All right, we can definitely do it in person and on Zoom. That would be great. Yeah, we can work out. All right. Well, if you don't have any more questions for me, that about does it for this session. So I will be reaching out to you very soon about when to schedule our next few executive sessions, whether it's going to be in person or over Zoom. And that's about it. So I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. You too.
Of course. Thank you.